for this album right now, Celebrity Jesus, like the songs I'm just working on making these bitches perfect, nigga. Like they need to taste like, I don't know, ice cream after you get out of prison, nigga. Like, yeah, I put my phone in my bag, fade out all the cages, myself, keep me locked. Yeah, I put the floor to your face this time. Yeah.
What's up, everyone? You're watching Loud Music Only. I'm your host, A.T Bianco, and today I am very excited to introduce our guest. He's a very talented artist out of Atlanta. He makes music that's probably from the future, and he's coming off his new album, Everyone's Scared. His name is Tahj Keeton. Tahj, how are you today? Thanks for being with us.
I'm pretty good. I'm kind of tired.
You tired? You have a long weekend or something like that?
I was up all night turning in this audition for this movie that I'm trying to be in. I went to bed at like 4 a.m.
I want to definitely touch upon acting, and I've seen that you are auditioning. I saw, I think, on Instagram that you were trying out for an audition that you feel as if you're like made for. Are you like able to talk about that stuff or no?
Bro, I don't even know shit about it for real. The whole role is like undisclosed. The film is undisclosed. They won't say the director or anything. I just know if I get the role, I'm gonna have to leave the country for like 2, 3 months. But I'm pretty confident I'm gonna get the role.
I know in one of your songs that you talk about like signing something with HBO. I'm curious if that has like something to do
No,
with this.
that has nothing to do with acting. That was just when I got my song on Euphoria. That was like I was just talking about how I don't have a record deal, just kind of boasting like I don't have a record deal, but I'm signing papers with HBO right now. You know what I'm saying?
We'll get to kind of like song by song on the track list of Everyone's Scared, but first I want to kind of get to know the overall lore and origin story of Tahj Keeton. So I'm curious, like, when did you start making music, and how long ago was that?
Um, I started making music when I've been writing raps forever. But my first recording was, I think I was 12 or 13. My mom bought me some studio time. That's all I wanted for my birthday. Um, and I got in the studio with this legendary producer's named Lex Dirty. He's produced for fucking Watch the Throne, motherfucking like Pac and Big and crazy shit. But rest in peace to him. He was like my idol when I was a kid. But yeah, that was my first studio session. I recorded a song called He's a Pro, and it's garbage. But
That's a
like
great
for
title. I love the confidence in the first song.
yeah, for me being like 12, 13, I was like amped up. Like that, it's crazy. I feel like an old bitch now. Like to get my song, like we had to burn that shit on the disc leaving the studio. Like, um, and then like after that, I was like recording on a rock band mic and shit because my mom obviously she couldn't afford to fucking give me studio time every week and shit. So I had to figure it out. I started doing my own shit. And back then my rap name was Camp Gorilla.
You said
Um,
Camp Gorilla?
yeah,
Okay, what was was there like a meaning behind it, or was it just a name you came up with?
bro, I'm still a huge Joey Badass fan. But
Same,
he
same.
has he has this song, fuck. I think it might be Christ Conscious where he says, "My whole camp gorillas, nigga." And then I was like, "Whoa, Camp Gorilla sounds so cool." And so I ran with Camp Gorilla for the longest up until like sophomore year, junior year of high school. Then I started going by different names. I was just having an identity crisis. I went by Taj Osin. I went by just Taj. Like I was just trying different things. I went by Saint Claris for a little bit.
Saint
Um,
Claris. I like that. Is that an actual name of a saint, or is it just a
no, it's like my middle name is German, and the original form of my middle name Sinclair is St. Claris.
Oh, okay. So is
Yeah,
what's your like overall like full name?
Todd Sinclair Keaton.
That's cool, man. I like the Sinclair part. Now, do you think many of your fans like know your middle name?
Probably not. Eventually, I met my manager Sam through. He had a promotion called Blue Summer where they did shows like every month,
Blue Summer
and
ATL?
yeah,
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I actually I'll get into that after of how I know, but continue. I was kind of a follower of Blue Summer ATL.
that's crazy. But basically, like I DM'd him and I was like, bro, please let me perform. I know I don't have any performance footage or anything. I've never performed like for real by myself. So like if you could just fuck with me, he was like, your music's not bad. Like, sure. Boom, do the show, knock it out the park. Like it was my first time performing in front of over 100 people type shit.
Wow.
So I was like, I was nervous as shit, but I was going crazy. And then like a week passed by and like I'm getting all these followers and all this shit's happening, all this footage is coming out. And that's the day I met Six Dogs as well. He like posted me on his Instagram and was like, everybody has to follow this kid. Like, and I'm like, yo, like this is crazy. And then I put on my story, I was like, I need a manager. Mad people hit me up. Like, because I guess people saw the potential. I just needed polishing.
Hmm.
And it was a bunch of people trying to fuck me over. And like, literally, one guy was trying to fuck me for real. Like,
Oh,
he was
like
like, yeah, he was like, bro, like, shit, like, you can have everything type of shit. I'm like, yo, block.
how did you filter through all those and choose Sam? Because obviously you picked the right choice.
Because I just saw it was a lot of hype. Like a lot of these people who were managers, their artists looked nice on Instagram and shit. You know what I'm saying? But like their music wasn't getting any better, and they were just really stagnant. And I'm like, Sam was working in a fucking restaurant. I don't know why I chose him either, but he just like had belief in me, and he was like, bro, if you trust me, like let's set a goal, and I promise whatever you want to happen, we will make happen. And he was just the most genuine, and he didn't feel like a manager. He felt like a big brother. And so we moved from there. And the first thing I said, he was like, what's one thing you want to do? I was like, I either want to act on Euphoria or I want to get my song on Euphoria. And I don't know how this nigga made it happen. Nigga was on LinkedIn, figured some shit out. Like a year later, our song's on there and it goes stupid. So
Now, what song was that made Euphoria?
it was Sarf. It was only on there for like 13, 14 seconds or some shit, like barely, like in
And
the
that was like
background.
in the car, that scene on your Instagram. Don't
Yeah,
you posted it?
literally just a car driving by. But they put it on every Euphoria playlist on every streaming platform. So like the album had been out, Sarf had been out for like a year already. And now we're seeing everything just and we were like, what the fuck? And I was just cooling off clout for a little bit. I had a little bit of money. Like I was like, shit, like I'm chilling. Like I can at least eat, but I never stopped working. Like no matter what happened, I was never like on no hype shit. I was never like, man, this is it, whatever, whatever. I was still cooking up every day, like what's next? Because, that shit was cool, but it wasn't enough. You know what I'm saying?
Right, you weren't like satisfied with that, which is kind of a testament to what kind of person you are and your work ethic, no matter like what went on in your life, because life happens. And you made a good point about talking about managers hitting you up and how their artists look all like their life's perfect on Instagram. And one thing that just by talking to you so far and listening to your music is that you're very vulnerable and upfront in your music, and
Yeah.
you show a different side that some artists don't necessarily like show, you know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons why why I think your music and just like your personality and brand as a whole is so special. So you started working with Sam and you started making music with Six Dogs, right? And I know Tom the Mailman's kind of like somewhat involved with like Don't Be Greedy and stuff.
We have the same manager. So
Okay.
Sam started managing me first, and then he started managing Chase, because Chase didn't have a manager. Then he started managing Sean, and that's when Don't Be Greedy kind of formed as a whole. And um, as far as my relationship with Chase, like I was, I'm still a massive fan, but before I even knew him, like he was just an anomaly. So like I would see him around Atlanta, and I would be like fucking shitting bullets, like trying to get him to be my friend type shit. So eventually, when we started hanging out and I started seeing him at Sam's house and shit, we just started getting close and just playing basketball. And I invited him to a studio session one time. I remember my boy, his name is Jacob, a close friend of mine. We used to go to his house every Friday, and it would be like all 30 of my friends, and in his small apartment. Some people, like the fashion kids, would be like in his room, like drawing. All the rap kids would be like, it would be people with laptops making beats and recording. So I invite Chase to, we call it the kitchen sessions. So we sometimes we would record and work hard. Sometimes we just fuck around, get high, play games. And this time I told everybody, yo, Chase is pulling up, like Six Dogs coming to the house. And he pulled up and we made whatever song is on my SoundCloud. I don't know what it's called. Helium Glaciers. Like we just
That's when you
recorded
made
that.
that song?
Yeah. And it was like 30 people in the room, bro. It was so weird. And we made like two or three songs that night, but I don't even know what the other ones are. Somewhere on my computer. But yeah, and then like time went by and he was like, "Yo, I want you on my album and shit," and I'm like, "No fucking way!" Like, and like it's crazy because I was on a pursuit for so long trying to get him to be my homie, and like it still fucks me up till this day that I'm on his last album. You know what I'm saying? Twice, and so like yeah, and as far as Sean, like that's my boy too. Like it's all family shit. Like we all been through so much together. Like literally all three of us and with Sam have gotten a car accident together
Wow.
in fucking LA and shit. Like it's a picture that we all have of us just like sitting on the sidewalk, just all looking pissed off because we got in a fucking wreck. Like they're my boys, bro. Like Don't Be Greedy is really just a product of Sam's ingenious and his work and him being a marketing master and knowing all this shit and just putting all that into us, you know?
I love that story, and I just want to mention like that. I'm sorry for your loss. I know it sounds like that you were very close, um,
Yeah,
with Six Dogs, and obviously I know him as Six Dogs, but you know him as a friend and Chase. So
yeah.
his music spoke to a lot of people. So during your time with him, right? Like, what would you say is probably like the most memorable thing that he kind of left with you, and like what would you say you kind of learned from him?
Man, like that man was just extremely humble, like more than he should have been. Like that man would have given his heart for anybody type shit. And it was just like he was so pure of a person. So like, but we all knew he was struggling with things, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But he was getting better and we were seeing that. And him us going out to LA and just like, having fun, going to different places. We fucking went to Party Next Door's house together, like and shit and hooped. Like
That's
we had
crazy.
yeah, it was nuts. Like me, Tom, Sam, Chase, like we were hooping against like fucking crazy producers and shit, going to Benny Blanco's house. Like we was having a whale of a time. As far as him as a person and just what I got from him is just like being 100% genuine and just treating everybody with kindness. I never seen that man be an asshole to nobody. Like, and I caught him kind at like at the tail end of his life. Like we got really close, like probably in the last 2 years he was here. And so like I didn't know anything of him before, but I knew the person he was in that moment. And he was nothing but kind and genuine and sweet to people. And that rubbed off on me. And it just made me want to just look after people and check on people. Like it would be random times he hit me in the middle of the night, like, yo, you good, bro? We got to cook up soon. Like, was thinking about you. Like, and he didn't have to do that shit at all. Like, he didn't have to invite me places. None of that. But he was super nice to people. Even my homies, like he embraced a lot of my friends that was around and shit. Like my friend Dirt is crazy. We had a super emotional, like, because everybody who knew Chase got something from him. It might
Mm.
be something random. It might be a fucking Pokemon card. He was always giving you something random. Crystals, like I have a crystal on my fucking table right now that he gave me. I have like 20 crystals from this nigga. Like, because every time I see him, he would just be like, yo, like, take this shit, bro. And I'd be like, all right. But my boy Dirt, fucking, he came to I think it was on my birthday or some shit. He was like, yo, like Chase gave me this shirt when we were in LA. Like, I think you should have it. And I was like, absolutely not. I was like, nope. I was like, you have it because he made that shit so you can have it, not for me. Like, his purpose was like, he made sure he left some art for everybody to have. I was like, don't you dare give me that shirt, bro. I was like, I appreciate the gesture, but like, I have plenty of shit from Chase. And he would literally, if he was here right now, he'd be like, bro, what the fuck? Like, bro, that's for you type shit. So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, man. I know it's not easy thing to talk about, so I appreciate your honesty and sharing that stories because you not only do you hear it in his music, but you also hear it like based off of like the people that listen to him and the impact that he had on them too as well.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like pretty amazing to see. And just to kind of piggyback off of that, you mentioned how close of a family you guys are at Don't Be Greedy. And I was kind of introduced to like your music and Tom the Mailman's music about I'd say probably 3 years ago or so. And it was around the time where like I was just kind of starting this brand by myself and loud music only, and I was kind of looking for other creatives and just up and coming artists to listen to because I genuinely enjoy that. And that's kind of where I stumbled across um, Blue Summer ATL and some of the interviews that I think Sam used to do. And he interviewed this artist I think, from Atlanta named Flower Child.
Yeah,
Um,
I have a song with Flower Child.
you have a song with Flower Child?
Yeah, it's on my EP, Cabin Food. It's called Exhausted.
Is he credited on that? Is his name on there?
Yeah.
Really? That's dude, I did not even notice that because and I'm gonna have to I like that EP. I didn't even my favorite song off the EP is probably VCR tune. Um
Yeah, that
I,
song's
I
sick.
really like that song. But so I was introduced to Flower Child's music through him. And one of my buddies who has like this like marketing company like was working with Flower Child like 2 years ago or something. And I interviewed him on the show, and I kind of like just talked to him, and he broke down like just the music scene, I guess, like in Atlanta or whatever. And that's around the time where I was introduced to like your music and Tom the Mailman's music. And fast forward to last summer, I went to uh, Tom the Mailman's show in Brooklyn
Hmm.
at Elsewhere. Great show. Big fan of his. Met him after the show. He's very down to earth, nice guy. And I was kind of headed in my car and outside the venue, and I saw a group of guys, and I was like, you know what? Like, I have this joint in my pocket. Like, I'm trying to smoke right now. Like, so I kind of went off to the side and was trying to light this thing. Right. I'm trying to light the joint. And it's windy. It's in Brooklyn, and some kid walks up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, like you look like you're having a rough time lighting this joint. Do you need help? I was like, yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It was a guy named Augusto Colombo.
Yeah, that's my boy.
And that's where I met him and I smoked with him. And it was just kind of like the whole Don't Be Greedy team around. And I didn't really formally introduce myself, but I talked to Augusto and he kind of like told me about like how he's tour manager and stuff like that. And just was
Yeah.
very down to earth, very nice guy. And I had briefly met the DJ P Dot, I think his name is.
Hmm.
And they were all kind of standing out there, and Sam was, and I was just like hanging out with Augusto and smoking with them. This whole group of guys like are so fun to be around, and I just like briefly met them. They won't even remember me, but I briefly met them, and I could kind of like feel like the almost contagious energy and excitement around the group of the fact that you guys were just packing up. They were just packing up the car and headed to a different city and like just going and grinding together. And I really, that just really stuck with me. And I since then I've just been like even more of a fan of the whole group and what Sam does, and very interested in what he does too as well. So I just wanted to briefly share that story because like you guys as a group are like very cool, down to earth people. And although I really don't know you guys, like just a small gesture of helping me light a joint by Augusto just kind of showed me that you guys are just really cool and down to
Yeah,
earth people.
nobody's Hollywood, bro. Like nobody's too good for nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's some super casual shit for Augusto. Augusto doesn't think twice about helping anybody. You know what I'm saying? And like that's just how the energy continues to be. And as far as just we don't want assholes around. We don't want anybody acting like assholes. And we always talk to Sam about it. Like I'm like, bro, because we've been through so much, when we get the money we know we deserve, we know how to be humble about it and shit. Like we've had times we've had a lot of money, we've had times where we've had none, like type shit. We know how to handle ourselves now, and it's just the etiquette we have about being good and kind and just cool to people. Like no, I don't want anybody. None of us want anybody to say anything bad about us, but it's not about just our presentation, but just being a fucking good person. You know what I'm saying?
Hardest worker you know. Every day my mind is haunted by the risks that I take. I get questions from my family like, is everything straight?
I feel like even with everyone scared, I was so focused on the production and just the aesthetic that the songwriting came like third, fourth. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm on this project. It's called Celebrity Jesus. Is my next album name.
That's the title.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see the cover for that one.
And it's a lot focused on the songwriting, but also just the best music I've ever made. Like I think Everyone's Scared was my Yeezus moment, if I had to explain it.
I didn't want to say that because I know as an artist you don't want to hear all the shit sounds like this or
Yeah.
whatever. But the world that you created around it, the production, it's definitely influenced by that, I'm sure.
Yeah, because a lot of that production wasn't even on a computer. It's just machines we were fucking using and shit.
Really?
Like, yeah, like me and Eli, we fucking were just using different synths and going to people's houses using their synths, like finding new machines, renting machines, like, and just experimenting. Like on the song name, none of that shit is from a computer. Not one instrument in that song is from a fucking DAW. That shit is all from synths and fucking. We had a drum machine that's like 30 years old. We programmed that shit. Eli introduced me to a lot of different types of production and shit. And so I just honed in on just making all the synths heavy. And, you know, that was an era for me. But now he taught me a lot as well as far as my production. So I'm just kind of using what he taught me in my own way now. And I've created this project that is a complete self-reflection. Like Everyone's Scared was me being vulnerable, but from a different perspective, like from a character that I created.
Mm-hmm.
But Celebrity Jesus is all about like me and my life. You know what I'm saying? But the songs are just like perfect. Like Everyone's Scared is perfectly imperfect. And that's what I love about it because everything's so gritty and like I was like, fuck the mix, turn that synth up, turn that 808 all the way up. Fuck it. Like let's get gritty.
It kind of reminded me of how like Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight was mixed in a sense,
Yeah.
like kind of like against the grain. Like there is some clipping, but like it just sounds fucking hard.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
what I wanted. I wanted it to be dirty. Like
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it.
and but also still that the final master and mix of that album is still not completely what I wanted because like you know what I'm saying, working with an engineer, they're gonna try to give you all the, you know, this is how it should be, shit, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like everything's too compressed a little bit. Like I wanted it to be more in your face, more feel it in your chest. And it sounds great live, you know what I'm saying? The album sounds great still, but it's still some things I wanted to tweak. But for this album right now, Celebrity Jesus, like the songs I'm just working on making these bitches perfect, nigga. Like they need to taste like I don't know, ice cream after you get out of prison, nigga. Like that's the best way I could fucking describe the shit. It's refreshing. Everything I love about music is happening. It's like when everyone's scared, I put myself in the world and stayed in that world for 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
With this, everything that I love about music, every little earworm is all coming together in this shit. Like, and there's no specific sound. Like, I'm going everywhere, but the songwriting is, bro. If Everyone's Scared wasn't the one, Celebrity Jesus is gonna be the shit. Everybody's gonna be like in 10 years, like, yo, why you should go back to doing that Celebrity Jesus shit.
So as you evolve, because I find it very interesting talking to you about the world you created with Everyone's Scared and the persona you created, right? And then moving on to working on Celebrity Jesus. What is it like compartmentalizing like almost two different vibes, like especially when you're working on your new music now?
It was really hard getting out of that Everyone's Scared phase because, man, we made at least 100 songs for
Wow.
that album. Like, and so I was just in a just I wanted everything to sound like space or the future. I'm playing a lot of cyberpunk and you know what I'm saying? Watching all these futuristic movies and I drowned myself in that character. Now it took a while to get out of that and just explore and experiment with myself more. Um, but yeah, man, I just had to be more free. I had to get more free and also during Everyone's Scared, I was doing so many psychedelics. Like,
So are you an avid kind of experimental person when it comes to psychedelics? Not necessarily all the time, but here and there kind of thing.
yeah, I be doing during Everyone's Scared. I did so many shrooms, bro. Like,
Wow,
also
really?
I did acid a few times during Everyone's Scared during the process, but
Just making it or like filming a lot of the like the trailer for the album and stuff like that?
oh, when we actually went the music videos that we have out or in the trailers and shit, I was on shrooms for all that time. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
That's so were you when you because the trailer and the visuals you have like on Spotify for Everyone's Scared, it's like you hooked up to this like crazy sci-fi futuristic. I don't even know how to
Yeah.
describe it, but it totally fits the vibe. So kudos to you. I fuck with it. It's sick. So while you were filming that stuff, you were tripping?
Yeah, I was tripping shit, bro. Only because, bro, we were having 15-hour film days, and like by the time it hits like 1 a.m., everybody's so dead. But my friend Carol brought so many shrooms, and we just started downing them bitches like during the shoot. and going around New York and Soho and shit, and in the middle of the night just filming. It also pushed me harder than I've ever been pushed in my life doing some shit. Like just tapping in and having to wear a fucking leather jumpsuit and staying up all night and then waking up, getting 2 hours of sleep, waking up again. But man, I wouldn't change anything about that shit. But now I'm less conceptual. Like the name Celebrity Jesus has a meaning. People will figure that out later. But it's not like I'm trying to tell this intricate ass, you know, conceptual story. Right now it's just whatever I'm feeling, whatever I'm thinking emotionally, like it's just gonna be put like at the forefront of this fucking album. And I know a lot of people are gonna be like, is he okay? Like after that first listen, I know people are gonna be like, are you okay? Don't kill yourself. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I just did not filter anything.
I like that a lot, and I'm gonna kind of keep the mystery surrounding Celebrity Jesus because it hasn't lived its life yet. But I would love the opportunity to like talk more when you're ready to kind of relay the overall vision behind it, and everything, because it sounds very interesting, and it sounds, and I can kind of like feel the excitement that you have of just like getting it out, you know?
Bro, because I've tried so many things. There's so many new sounds nobody has ever heard me do. Like I'm back rapping on some of these songs. Like, you know, I'm back into sampling, you know, like, but I've pretty much, I think it's only one song on here that I haven't produced 100% myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've just been spilling emotionally on this fucking album, but it's also turned. Like, man, like it's gonna be some dance records on that bitch, a bunch of shit to mosh to. Like I'm singing my ass off. The melodies are on 10. Bro, I'm telling you, I'm shitting on everybody.
I also want to kind of touch upon just some like more detailed, I guess, creative visions that you had for a lot of Everyone's Scared. I'll apologize ahead of time. I know I keep bringing it up, and as an artist, you're past that. But I do want some of the viewers and your fans to kind of get a vision behind the character you created and what it was like bringing that to life. So let's start with like what was the overall vision behind Everyone's Scared in the meeting?
Basically, it's this story about this alien woman who is a product of the internet. Like, if I put all the scripts and the ideas written on this app called Arena, who endorsed me throughout the rollout of Everyone's Scared. Um, and I'm cool with the guy who owns the app and shit. And so he just gave me premium access to everything, and just we had a lot of conversations just about ideas. And I'm still working on this commercial for them right now. And basically, it's this character, and she's trying to take over the world, and I'm trying to fight her off while battling my own ego. Like she's trying to take over the world, but she fucks with me. So I'm like debating, should I help her take over the world, or should I stop her because she's destroying people's perspectives and shit? And I just followed that world throughout the whole album. And obviously, I don't have $1 million budget to make the ideas I wanted to make, but we worked with what we had and tried to execute as best as possible. But I think also in this day and age, it's really hard for people to absorb all that information. Like we put so much detail. Niggas is doing color palettes. We're trying to figure out what this alien bitch look like. You know what I'm saying? Like we're trying to figure out how to conceptualize it visually. Like we're doing all types of shit, outfit changes, having designers come through and make shit, bro. But it's hard packaging all that and giving it to TikTok kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, with
And
the
so
low
like
with those
Sam's
small
like,
attention spans.
Sam be on my ass like, bro, you have not promoted Everyone's Scared on TikTok at all. And I'm like, because Everyone's Scared does not feel like a TikTok album. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think there's one song, like maybe Confessions, like, but I don't think there's one song on there that feels like a fucking TikTok trend. And So I kind of had to eat that. You know what I'm saying? Just for my own creative purpose. Like it might not have done as well as Sarv. And who knows? Sarv didn't do well till a year later. You know what I'm saying?
Give it
And
time. People will catch up because I wasn't kidding when I literally think you make music that's from the future. Like that's what it feels like.
I think people are gonna catch up to that album at the right time once they hear this other shit. Then they're gonna go back and be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, yeah.
Like, but the new shit is unintentionally more digestible. It's not like I wanted it to be like more mainstream or anything, but it's definitely me 100%. But just man, like these songs could go off in the club type shit for real. Everything is done super intentionally. Like half of everyone's scared is freestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Just yeah, like me taking a bunch of shrooms and smoking, and then like just going in and being like, Eli, punch me in, punch me in, punch me in.
Dude,
Like
some of the melodies like you created on this album were like insane. Drive by 85, right? And I wrote down here, like if I had the opportunity to score a sick action movie, I would put that in the movie. Like did you make the beat for that? Like there's a part where you go where you're like drowning in my sorrows, and then you switch up, you're like, what's the reason?
yeah,
Dude, like I I have a really hard time relaying the excitement, but like as a music fan, like damn man, like
yeah, I did.
I
I
bumped
produced that
that.
whole song, and like that was one of the last songs on the project. Like Sam was like, "Bro, you have to stop making songs." But it's like Drive By, Confessions, in the Garden were made in the same week, and after I made those songs, that's when I wrapped up. You know, and that's just when I started growing into whatever's happening right now. Like it was like I was the flower was halfway bloomed,
Mhm.
and it was starting to come out, and I was starting to be able to articulate emotionally. Like Drive By was just literally me trying to make the climax to this album, like, but be the self-realization in the hero's journey. You know what I'm saying? And so that song came out of fucking nowhere, bro. Like I don't
Really?
remember making it. I just remember being high and then and working on that shit for hours. And then I just remember getting up out of my chair and pressing play. And same thing with Confessions. Like I don't remember making none of that shit. It was literally like a spirit coming through me and taking over. And but it's like that happened for a few songs, but the other ones were like articulate and I'm fully aware. I remember those. Now it's even more like something else. It's like a higher energy is taking over to guide me through this album that I'm making right now.
The world that you created um for everyone's scared, and for garden, you say, I think some of the first words you speak on the album, when I thought I didn't need anyone, is when you came around offering me a new look to the world and showing me who I really was. Is that the character talking to the girl?
Yeah,
Interesting. See, now it's
yeah,
it's all adding up now, because that's the very enjoyable part of listening to music for me is, I don't want to be that guy that tries to decode everything because there's way too many people. Music's subjective. It's for your own interpretation sometimes. But that was
yeah.
like, I was very curious to ask, like, if that was like, the character, a part of
Yeah,
the
everybody
character's
think I'm
story.
talking about some bitches or something. Like,
It's way deeper than that.
but that yeah, like that's why I put it on Instagram and shit so many times. Like these arena links that can help you decode every part of this project from start to finish. Um, and some people did go out and they DM me asking me, so like, what does this mean? Like, blah blah blah. And even if fucking 100 people do that versus 10,000 like who just like the music, you know what I'm saying? That still means the most because I'm like, at least somebody is taking that effort to figure this out. But I feel like when I'm like fucking 35 and doing movies and shit, like people are gonna go back and find all that shit and be like, whoa, wait, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like because you're literally writing, I've seen you like tweet and kind of mention on stories and stuff like on Instagram, like how enthused you are by just like art overall, but like not only music, like screenwriting. And as
Yeah,
you
bro.
and as you say, down the line, fans could look back and kind of realize like, oh shit, like he kind of gave us like a visual movie here in a sense.
Yeah, bro. I'm literally right now. I'm just figuring out as I'm bro. When I tell you I have like 300 songs from this past 2 years, bro. Like,
How do
so
you
now
choose? Like that's so difficult.
it's not as difficult as you think, bro, because we all know. I send my music to the same couple people, and we know. It'll be some songs will be like, this is really cool. Then it'd be some songs would be like, hold up, let's get on the call. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And with this album, with Celebrity Jesus, every song that's on there right now is call. You know what I'm saying? We got to talk about this right now because you know what I'm saying.
Is it more or less to talk about like, okay, like this is fucking sick. How are we gonna present this?
Yeah, exactly. Like we're like, yo, how do we get people to understand like you're in a whole nother lane now? Like, how do we even get them prepared for this type of shit? And I think what people fell in love with my music was sorry if I was vulnerable, with Stevie C Stars, even my first tape, Cheat Death and shit. Like I was just super vulnerable, you know what I'm saying? And just talking about what I really feel and shit. And everyone's scared. I kind of strayed away a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Some
Mhm.
songs are more from my perspective, like Drive By, and like Confessions. But with this, with this shit, I'm kind of reverting back to talking about myself and, you know, adolescence and just understanding who I am as a man and what manhood means, and me looking back on my childhood from an adult perspective, looking back on even my, just teenage years or even just a year ago from this perspective, and understanding why I am who I am and why I did what I did, why I'm doing what I'm doing now, and just hyper self awareness right now. And that's literally what the Celebrity Jesus album is about to be, bro. And the thing is, yes, it's gonna be lit, but niggas are gonna be able to live to this shit. Like I know kids are gonna listen to this shit and they're about to take it with them for years and show their fucking kids. That's what I'm trying to do. Everyone's scared was for the moment, like embrace all this right now.
Mhm.
You'll figure it out later. But Celebrity Jesus is like a slap in the face. Like you don't understand this first go, you're never gonna understand it, and it's not for you. You know what I'm saying?
Your excitement is very infectious talking to you about your art, man. It's very special, and I could see how much it means to you
Bro, because
when
I
making
literally
this.
sacrificed my life for this shit, bro. Like when I be working, I don't be eating as much, bro. I literally have developed an eating disorder over this fucking album, bro. Like I've been having stomach issues for like the past month because like I'm trying to figure out how to get myself to eat properly again because I'll be at the crib all day by myself and just trying to figure out like these songs, or you know what I'm saying, calling people to be like, what can you do on this? And you know what I'm saying? I get so into it and so into what I'm trying to create and what I'm trying to show to people that like regular human life, I just be forgetting about it. Everyone's scared it was worse. Like, bro, I was going to sleep at 6 a.m., waking up at 11, cooking up all day, going to sleep at 6 a.m. again, bro. Like, I'm talking like 2-3 hours of sleep every night just to get these fucking ideas off. But I'm telling you, like, the type of work that I put in, I used to get so down on myself for it not being recognized or world renowned and shit. But I'm like, maybe I need to give myself more credit for the work I did and the time. And it's like, eventually, you fish for so long. You know what I'm saying? You could fish for fucking years and never catch anything. But one day you're gonna catch the fucking a big ass bass and you can eat that motherfucker for a week. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like with this new project, like I got the line out there right now. Everybody's, it feels like right now I'm in this process of people starting to figure it out, like industry heads. Like it's a lot more blue checks watching my shit because they're curious about what the fuck's going on because nobody really knows how any of this is happening. I barely know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So people are kind of like on the fence. It's kind of like my whole career. Everybody's kind of been like, might fuck with him because he seems interesting, but you know, he's kind of a liability. He's not a pop star. You know what I'm saying? And now everybody's like, like he has everything we're looking for, but now we need to see what he's capable of doing on his own and shit. And so I'm like, bro, I'm about to show niggas like, all right, catch up. With this new album, you have no option but to know me like my best friends. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm giving out more of my personal my personal information in my personal life than like a lot of my family knows about me.
You're like, I even got my social security card on there. Like,
bruh, pretty fucking much. This whole project is like I'm talking to like a therapist. Like I'm my own therapist, really. Every beat I make is the therapist. And I'm just going off on that shit.
How does music help you face that, like maybe childhood trauma or like deal with certain mental health things?
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I dwell because it makes my music better. Like I'm
Like
not the type.
dwelling in like sorrow and a heavy feeling.
Yeah, bro. If I'm thinking about some traumatic shit, bro, I will literally just to get more emotion out of me. Like I might go to a place where I saw somebody get shot. You know what I'm saying? Like I might fucking drive to, you know, where my mom threw my shit out. You know what I'm saying? And just reflect because I couldn't really articulate myself in those moments because I was so used to like being fucked up and like people fucking me over. I was just so used to that it just seemed like the thing to do. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like the thing that was just gonna keep happening. So I didn't really know how to explain that. Now I'm on some shit where I can articulate all that shit perfectly. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait for people to really get to understand where I come from and who I am for real. I feel like people kind of know because I'm pretty vocal on, I guess, social media just about how much I care about these kids who listen to my shit. And they tell me all the time how much I mean to them and shit. And I'm not taking none of that shit for granted. And I'm like, if I mean this shit to you, I just gave you a project that isn't 100% me giving you something to live through. That was me getting off a creative nut I needed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now this shit is like, I know these kids are going through it because they DM me all the time telling me that their parents are fucked up or that this and this. And so I'm like, all right, I'm about to give you the code to be able to live through that and understand yourself. And because I'm also doing the same thing.
I just want to briefly talk about millennia.
Okay.
What your kind of vision was behind that song, because there's a part that I really like, and it's kind of similar to Drive by 85, like the way I felt when listening. It's like when the whole, what did I write down here? Everything from the beat to the lyrics. If you can remember, where were you when you made that song? Because it sounds like it's from the future. Like that outro of you singing is just very special, and it just like hit me. And I just wanted to kind of pick your brain about like that song in particular.
I remember being pretty sad. I did a version before, and we had made the beat, and I was just like, I don't know. I think I got too high that day, and I was just like over emotional and overthinking the song. And then I remember I was in the car, man, and I was just I used to just drive around all day. Like I didn't give a fuck. I fill up my tank like 3 times in a day type shit. Like because I just be driving around all day, just listening to shit. And I played the song that I had for her before, and I was like, this is ass. But I started humming to it. And that song is just about like me looking after myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I say on that song, fuck, I don't even know the lyrics. Don't fall back, all the same. Smoke come back for me, all the same profit. Don't play favors, because I get thrown off. Don't play favors because I get thrown off. That song is literally just about me smoking by myself and talking about, me smoking this joint is more consistent than a lot of the people that I talk to all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like every time I smoke, I know that I'm gonna get high and probably get something cool out of it. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like that too, man.
Yeah, but sometimes you can have a conversation with somebody and be talking about nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then I was saying don't play favorites because I get thrown off. Like saying like I don't really hold anybody higher than the other, because once I started doing that, I started devaluing people. Don't play yeah,
Dude,
I forget.
There's one part where I love it, like switches up, and you're like, excuse me, like because like I'm probably gonna botch this, but I'm just gonna like kind of like say it because I don't really know the words, but like it switches up, and you're like, I'll put the phone in the back, and
oh yeah,
oh dude, I love
put
that
my
line.
phone in my bag. It's fuck. What
That's
the fuck?
special. Like that is special, man.
No, I put my phone in my bag, like my cell, and no cell in the cage keep me locked or some shit like that. Yeah, I was just talking about just getting off my phone. I put my phone in my bag. It stay off. Ain't no cell in this shit keep me locked. Like, because obviously cell, that's a double entendre for a cell phone and a cage. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And just being able to tap out of the internet and everything. And even right now, my phone is broken. Like,
really?
And I have hesitated to get it fixed because, I'm off the internet a lot more, and I'm not looking at everybody's shit. I don't know what's going on in the news, like, but I also don't really care. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, I do need my phone because people are hitting me like, "Yo, I just texted you to play Fortnite, and I got nothing."
Right.
But there's people I need to talk to and shit, so I have to go get my phone fixed. But
sometimes you need to unplug, man.
And I feel like a lot of times I unplug to the highest extent, and eventually I want to be to a point where I don't have to use any of this shit, because like Frank Ocean doesn't have to post a damn thing, but I'm still gonna listen to Blonde like all the time. And that's the point I want to get to. Shake don't post nothing. She don't post shit.
She is a very mysterious persona.
Bro, this motherfucker, we be in a club, and bro, she would throw her phone just like into the crowd. Like, and I'd be like, you fucking dumbass. Like, and I go pick up her phone, just put that shit in my pocket until we get back on the bus. Like, she don't give a fuck about none of that shit. She's so tapped into just being existing in real life, like that none of that shit matters. The happiest I really get is when I'm sitting and I make some super cool shit and I'm not thinking about nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And that's the highest of dopamine I could get in my life. That's the feeling I constantly chase, is literally making some shit on my own and that shit being so cool and being like, fuck, I made that shit. That shit better than smoking any blunt. That shit better than any vacation. Like, bruh, I can't even describe. And that's why I think, I don't know what's going to happen this next year, but it's not failure. You know what I'm saying? Because I put too much time into it, and I understand I have to compromise. I'm gonna have to do the TikTok shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the niggas I look up to, they had Tyler was promoting on MySpace and Twitter. Rocky was on MySpace and YouTube and fucking.
It's
You know
like
what I'm saying?
using the tool for what it's good for, but not letting it consume you.
Exactly. And now them niggas don't be on the internet at all. So I'm like, okay, I know I have this a certain look and a certain aesthetic that is attractive to people. I know if the music appeals to that, I'm like, okay, now I have to do the TikTok shit just to make sure like I can connect with more people or whatever. But as soon as that shit goes the way I need it to go, I'm done. Literally, I might never touch the internet again.
What's the reason I broke to pieces? Honestly, I'm not feeling.
I've met Travis a few times, and he was very nice every time.
Very cool. What was that like? I know that I saw a tweet that you said that you were in the Super Bowl halftime show.
I was like, and we had to do rehearsals and shit, you know, like, we didn't talk too much. We were just talking about like sneakers and shit, and like, I would talk to his manager. His name is David Stromberg, if I'm not mistaken. Like, and just showing him my music videos. And he followed me for a while, then I got to unfollow. It's okay though. I don't know
his manager or Travis.
His manager.
That's cool, man.
But I was very young at the time. My shit wasn't polished. But now I'm in this world where like I know all these people who are on his album right now or working with him, and like it's like I'm literally a step away from everybody I idolize, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
Do you just like sometimes take a step outside and get a little emotional about how far you've came, like being around your idols? Because I feel like processing that emotionally is probably a very difficult part too. You know, you're rubbing shoulders with your idols.
Bruh, it still hasn't really hit me how I think. Like I feel like I still haven't even processed that Europe tour yet. Like a lot of this shit just feels like I'm dreaming sometimes, but a lot of reality hits at the same time. It's like, yes, I'm a phone call away from, you know, my favorite artist, or like I know this guy who's working on Kanye shit or Tyler shit or Cudi shit, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm like, you know, yeah, I'm a call away, but you know what I'm saying? I want to be peers with these niggas. I don't just want to be that nigga that's affiliated. I want to be peers. I want the niggas to look at me eye to eye and be like, yo, this nigga's a problem. So like I'm never on nobody dick too hard. I give my flowers where they're due. But I just want people to understand that I idolize these people because I want to be neck and neck with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I take my influences, I take my bits and pieces from a little bit of everybody and try to make it better. You know what I'm saying? And make it my own. I spent so much time when I was younger just literally biting nigga swag, like biting Travis songs or trying to be Cudi or trying to be Tyler. And it took a lot of that for me to figure out how to be myself. And so now I'm like, I could run right with y'all, my nigga. Like, I may not be, you know, as big or right on the same level as y'all, but shit, nigga, wait for celebrity Jesus, nigga. That's all I gotta say.
I respect you for having that mindset because I feel like a lot of people, if they had the almost the resources that you have, like having, you know, Kanye or, you know, a manager or someone associated with him or Travis or Tyler, like they would go for the, oh, like I'm trying to call them and, you know, start working with him. But you seem
bro, that's the thing, bro.
You seem very humble.
I've realized, bro, like a good friend of mine, his name is Sean Solimar. Like we did a song together on my album. He's signed with Mike Dean. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking my boy Jalil, he's in Cactus Jack. Like
wow.
he helps them with merch and whatever the fuck they need and shit. And he was on the Europe tour with Shake and shit. Like we had a lot of conversations just about that world and that lifestyle. And Shake was just, she took me under her wing just to show me what this lifestyle is like, I guess. And she's like, yo, don't worry about nothing else. You with me for this tour. Like, I'm gonna show you how this goes, you know what I'm saying? And that was really huge insight to a lot of this shit for me. And I could never thank her enough. I could thank her a million times. That wouldn't be enough for me. But that shit changed my life, bro. And everybody I met on there, the friends I made, the lifelong friendships. And now, even that happening and people knowing that I be around them and shit, like they'll be like, oh, yo, pull up to this. And I'm like, you know, that's cool. But Shake knows I'm my own artist. She's acknowledged that before, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just, at the end of the day, I just want to be able to be neck and neck with all these people. You know what I'm saying?
And also too, like that's interesting you bring up. Like it seems as if you like which a lot of artists want to be treated just like a regular person, you know, like a regular, you know, you and me right now, we're just having a conversation, fucking interview, you know. And it seems as if like you know hold a lot of importance on like making a genuine personal connection with a lot of people and most people that you meet, regardless of like how big they are famous, you know what I mean? You know, you could have a homie that works on stuff with Travis, but you're just you want to learn about him and what he's like and how he's doing, and I think
and that's
people
the
will
thing.
remember
Even
that.
with Sean, like I look up to Sean so much. Like he's with Mike Dean and shit, but like we just became homies throughout the tour. Then I'm finding out, I get back home, I'm like, damn, this nigga has a Grammy with Kanye, like for Jail and shit. But that didn't change anything in how I looked at him, because I know this nigga's just a cool ass nigga just off the rip. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm even with Danny, like, like before us becoming homies, I was on a pursuit to be like, yo, like I'm gonna meet this person and she's gonna understand what I have going on. You know what I'm saying? And then once we became friends, I realized it's not about any of that. You know what I'm saying? It's not about me getting this feature. It's not about, you know what I'm saying? That's just my nigga now. Like
right, like you're not trying to use these people. You're just, you know, they're your friends, and you want to be peers with them, which, you know, I really respect that.
Obviously, I would like a Shake feature right now, but I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Like at the end of the day, me texting her that she sucked like at 2K is more important to me than any verse she could give me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And also to what you learned on that tour, you know, that speaks a lot of her character too as well, taking you under the wing and showing you the lifestyle and giving you a taste and some advice. So being on that tour, what was that like for you, and like what was kind of like your role? I saw that you were kind of hyping up the crowd a little bit. You jumped on stage with her a little bit. What was your like, you know, kind of role, a part of the team in that sense?
Bro, I had no role. Like she lit, like, I was pretty much that album. I was on a tour before that, the American You Can't Kill Me tour. Johan was opening. He just brought me to help out and shit. And I was just in the crowd every night watching the show because I'm a fan of the album. Like,
great album. I love that album. That was one of my favorites of 2022.
bro, and I remember the night it dropped, we were in fucking Phoenix. I was tripping shit on shrooms. Like, and I was like crying because the tour was about to be over. And like, I was like, damn, like, I came here on a mission and it doesn't feel like the mission is complete. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, at the end of the day, if I get nothing from this tour, I just have to be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Just complete ego death. And pretty much, like, I don't forgot the fucking question.
Just talking about your experience, some highlights of the tour, what she kind of taught you, stuff like that.
It's just like, just being able to listen to some shit that I actually listen to on my own time every night, loud as fuck, was different. And my role in it was just she just brought me because I just be turned up, and then eventually she was just like, "You want to do some shows? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, go do some songs type shit." Like, I'd be like, "Oh fuck!" Like now I'm in fucking Germany turning up for 1,000 people, or you know what I'm saying?
Amazing.
And but still, that shit has not hit me that I just did that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just kicking it with my niggas, like, and really, she just brought me on to kick it. I don't know. I don't know why she brought me. Like I had no reason. Everybody had a job except me. But I definitely helped, like wherever, because I'm just grateful to be on this shit. Wherever they needed my help, I'm on that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, and people remember that too, you know?
Yeah. And so, yeah, bro, my role was just being amped up and just learning. I was just a student. That was my role.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
it's great to hear you say that. And, you know, I'm happy for you that you had that opportunity too, as well, because, you know, it
And
seems
also
as,
seeing her in the studio.
yeah, what was that
That's the
like?
thing. I'm like, I made sure I asked so many questions. I'm asking her questions about Ye. I'm asking her questions about her last albums and past experiences because she know I know all her shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really trying to pick up game as this shit is going on. I'm not here to just like, just fuck around and not get no knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have to be a student if they're gonna bring me on this opportunity. And so seeing her in the studio, just we pretty much have the same process, but I'm just seeing how poignant and more like on point she is. If she don't like some shit, it's not getting done. You know what I'm saying? But me, on the other hand, I might be in the studio with some nigga. He might have some lame shit going, and I might want to protect their feelings and still do it. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. Okay.
So I'm looking at her, and she'd be like, "No, that's lame. Take it off."
She's like
And
the
niggas,
general in that
yeah,
sense. Interesting.
yeah. And so like I took that from her as well. Like any situation going on, if she's not liking it, it's not fucking happening. And just how respected she is because of how she presents herself, and she never lets no lame shit happen. She don't acknowledge no lame shit. That's one of the main things I took from her. It was a lot of bullshit going on in the media while she's on this tour.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't pay any of that attention. Like, yeah, we're talking about it. You know what I'm saying? But she's not on the internet like, yo, and that's because she a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? None of this internet shit matter, bro. Like, that's another thing I took. I learned a lot of shit, but yeah, bro. That's just she to go.
Thanks for sharing that, man. That's that I was very curious of what your experience was like. I'm a fan of hers, fan of yours, and it's almost like a team that like I didn't know I needed as far as like listening. Like it would be very cool to hear you guys on a song. I don't want to like, you know, be the guy that pushes that too far, but like it would be great.
We're gonna see what happens.
Out of this world, man.
I send her ideas all the time.
That's awesome that you have that like relationship with her too as well, like creatively.
Yeah, I just saw her a few weeks ago. She played her new album. It was, oh my god, it's disgusting. It's disgusting, bro.
So did you get a chance to play her a lot of Everyone's Scared?
I didn't really play her that much. Everyone's scared. I just play her other shit, like
Of yours?
because I was on tour like while my rollout was happening. You know what I'm saying? I
Okay,
could,
in like September, October.
yeah, like my
Okay.
rollout is happening. I'm mid tour, like trying to wake up on time to be able to get on the call with Sam and shit. And so I remember actually the song Escapism, like, Ray.
Oh, dude, 21st Century Blues is such an amazing album. I
So
love that album.
we were at her house, and like we after the London show, we just got lit, and crashed at her place and shit. And she had a studio. I was like, "Yo, you mind if I, just work? Because I haven't been able to be in the studio all tour." She was like, "Fuck yeah!" And they're shooting the video to Escapism and shit like that
While
whole
you
day.
were there?
Yeah.
That's
So
sick.
I'm just in the studio while they, working and shit. Or so I just remember Shake had a little break. I was like, yo, come listen to this shit. Like, and she listened. She was like, this shit is cool, bro. You produced all this? I'm like, yeah. Then I played her this one song that's gonna be on my album. She was like, bro, like, I need this shit. But she was like, I need you to send me shit like this, bro. But like, I can't give her that song. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit just, I've had it for a long time, and I just, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it to her. Who knows? But
So you
I got
made
the,
that song at Ray's?
I made a song at Ray's.
Okay.
Like I was working on one song the entire tour, and like the tour before that, because you bring all this equipment thinking you'll be able to work, but shit's so fast.
Mm-hmm.
But I was working on this one song I have on my album called Shutdown, and I would just ask her opinion every once in a while. Just be like, yo, you fuck with this, you fuck with this. She'd be like, yeah, don't like that, like this.
As far as goals that you have for 2023, we'll focus, because I know you're a very ambitious person based off talking to you.
Yeah.
What are some goals that you have? And I'm going to give you a few different categories, because I know that you're somewhat of like a model too, in a sense, right? Like you in fashion, you're very interested in fashion, and you're interested in that side, the music,
Yeah.
acting. If you could kind of give us or give me different goals that you have, one goal you have for your music, one goal you have for like fashion and modeling, stuff like that, and then one goal for acting, what would it be for this year?
Well, in music, man, I low key already hit the goal. Like the goal was never in like a statistic or anything. It was just about breaking through and understanding, myself in a different way. And I reached that goal. And now um I guess I do want the the people who listen to me to connect with me even harder than they ever have. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm giving them everything. So I just, people who fuck with me, I know they're gonna fuck with me even harder. But I know we're gonna bring in a lot of new people, and I just want to gain and maintain this super special relationship with all these human beings, and just letting them know like I'm human too. You know what I'm saying? And that just making this whatever's happening just stronger. So that's my music goal. As far as the outside shit, I do want to get this part for this movie. If I don't get the part for this movie, I'm gonna keep trying until I fucking. But I'm gonna get this part in the movie. Like if I don't get the main part, they're gonna give me something else because I killed that fucking audition.
I love
Anyway,
it.
but I'm gonna be in a fucking movie, and as far as fashion and everything, like, I'm gonna start doing some castings and shit to get into that world and shit because it's been something that's been just dangling over my head for years, and people have been like snatch these opportunities, and I just, what I'm saying. Sometimes I'll fuck up and just be so consumed in music that, maybe I won't take this modeling opportunity, or what I'm saying. But now I'm like, yeah, music is the reason I'm put on this earth. I feel like my main purpose is music, but also I'm like, is it? Like maybe my main purpose is to just live in arts, like no matter what it is, and just free expressionism. You know what I'm saying? No matter what form that is. So now I'm trying everything because I know I can fucking act. I know I can model, and I I'm so hyper focused and pushing myself and whatever the fuck it is that I'm doing. If I start acting, I'm gonna start training like the fucking Rock. You know what I'm saying? If I start modeling, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start doing yoga, making sure my posture is right. Like I just want to take over in every branch. I feel like a lot of these artists, a lot of these fucking TikTok kids just want to make these songs all day. I'm like, that's cool. Like, I make songs all day too, but I'm also writing a TV show right now. Like, that I hope, because Donald Glover inspired me because he wrote Atlanta before, because the internet came out. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And so I'm like, I'm writing a TV show right now that hopefully when I'm 30, it gets picked up. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe even sooner. I'm
I
just
would love
hoping.
to read that, man. I would love to check that out.
I'm like, bro, we got a song on HBO. I'm like, let's get our shit on HBO. You know what I'm
Hell
saying?
yeah. Hell yeah.
I wanna have an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, a Tony. I want all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to get into the fashion world. I want to make my own clothes. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually I'm gonna be on some billionaire shit and not drop music for 5, 6 years like Rihanna.
Have your own fashion line or beauty
Yeah.
company or something
And
that
also
pushes the boundaries.
just getting back to my charity work. I did a lot of charity work last year. Like, we have this place called Cheshire Bridge here in Atlanta, and it's this long bridge, and there's like this whole homeless community there. We gave like 1,000 meals last year, like, and I think we did like 3 or 4 thousand gallons of water that we gave out during the summer last year.
Wow.
And I'm like, I just want to keep doing shit like that. I'm working on starting to figure out funding to get more studios and boys and girls clubs and shit like that. Like, not only am I trying to like branch out and be the coolest nigga ever, but I want these kids to know they can also be the coolest nigga ever. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have $1 million to fucking do that right now, so I have to kind of reach out and branch out and figure it out. But yeah, eventually with all this good intention will come success.
100%. Your dreams and aspirations not only have, personal goals for yourself and what you want to do, but you also want to like use your platform to help other people and inspire the youth. And that speaks volumes of your character for real. Separate from the music or anything, like just you as a person, like you're a very genuine person, and it's great to hear that you want to get these things out, accomplish these things, but also inspire the next artist like you, or you know what I mean, something like that. So my last question would be, and to be honest, I could talk to you all day, man. You've been a great person to talk to in this interview, so I appreciate it, man. My last question would be, what's the most valuable piece of advice that you've been like randomly given, like separate from, like, it doesn't have to be music based, but like what's something that's really stuck with you? It could be random, something super random, but like what's something that you would want to share as far as that goes?
Well,
Or something from your own brain. I know it's a hard question.
Man, I feel like I remember when I was in New York, when I was talking to Tyler and shit, and I was telling him like I was nervous as fuck, like I was sweating and shit. I had on leather pants, like I was freaking out, and I just remember telling him, I was like, "Yeah, bro, we out here we just filmed 3 music videos in like 3 days, and we drove all the way here from Atlanta." And he was like, "You know what? I did the same exact shit when I was your age. You know what I'm saying? Like, I obviously had more money, but I didn't have everything in the world, so I had to figure out a lot of shit." He was like, "This is exactly what you're supposed to be doing." And he was like, "Do not stop doing this shit." He was like, "Everything you're doing right now is gonna lead to whatever the fuck." And he was like, "You're exactly where you're supposed to be right now." And I was like, "For sure."
Wow. Getting
Yeah.
that from your idol, for that
Yeah,
matter,
bro. Like, I
is
just remember
nuts.
he had to go. He had to go inside this building. He had to dip. So like me and my boy just like took off running down the street, like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, man, that's probably the best direct advice that I've gotten and remembered, I guess. I was like, bro, you were saying like call you if you get lost. I was like, bro, I'm getting lost out here right now. Like I was like, I'm actually lost right now. Like I don't know where I'm at. It was a very rough day. Like, but we had got done filming. We were about to head back to Atlanta. Got a call to come model for Yeezy Gap, and it was very random because we were on our way back to Atlanta. We turned around. We were like 30 minutes outside. We turned around, did the shoot, left, saw Tyler. He talked to me for like 10 minutes, like just asking questions, being like, "What's your name, bro? Like, you know, like, what's your music like?" Like, and I was like, "Bro, like, Igor changed my life, like, all this shit." And the crazy thing is, like, he sat and talked to me for more than 10 minutes. Like, it was like 15 minutes, almost 20 minutes, bro. He was just chilling, standing out on the block with me and my homies. And like, then people started coming up. Like, I was like, yo, I know we just had this conversation, man. Please get a picture. He was like, yeah, bro, come on. Like, we took the picture or whatever. And then mad people start coming up. And he was like, I'll take pictures with your friends, and then I'm not taking no more pictures. He flicked up with my homies and then left. He was like, bro, he's like, I'm gonna remember Tahj Keeton, bro.
Oh my God. That's a mic drop right there. I'm gonna let it end right there because not only did you meet an idol of yours, but he took an interest in asking you what your music's like and what kind of person you are. So, I hope you can soak that in over time. I know it's probably very difficult too, but you telling that story,
I've
man,
soaked
gave me
that in.
chills.
I still ain't soaked up Cuddy still, man. Like,
And you said you got very emotional when you met him. I saw some
oh,
tweet that
I was having a very bad day. Like,
Mhm.
I was like borderline suicidal, bro. And it was his birthday party, and my boy got a text about it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't know if I could get in trouble for this. We snuck into his house during his party. We were, yeah, I think they were renting the house or something. I don't know. It might have been his crib, but it was security outside. They were like, "Yeah, you can't get in, whatever." But it was the end of the party, and we were like, "Damn!" Fucking Earl Sweatshirt walked up behind us, and I was like, "Yo, fuck, I love your shit, bro." Like, he was like, "Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro." Like, you getting in? I'm like, "Yeah, I'm about to figure it out." He walks right in, no security, ask him for shit, and then
That's
people
so
start backing.
funny. You're. I'm sorry to interrupt, but your life sounds just like this movie that's going
It
on, like this
literally
reality
is.
show.
And then we fucking walk in, like all these cars start backing out because they're leaving, and we just kind of slide by the car, like kind of act like we're getting out the way, walk right past security, go in, and we go to the bar. It's an open bar. We get some drinks or whatever. We don't really see anybody we know. Turn around, Cuddy's right there. I'm like, oh shit. Turn around, it's Jaden and Willow. Oh shit. Turn around, it's Jenna Ortega. Oh shit. Like, and I'm just like, yo, how the fuck did we get here? And like at the end of the party, I was telling my boy Nick, he also works for Don't Be Greedy. He's like head A&R, and he runs a lot of the marketing shit as well. Along with
Takes
my boy.
photos and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You might have met him. I think he was in New York.
I think I didn't formally meet him, but I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And he was like, don't say shit to Cuddy, bro. He was like, I was like, bro, I have to. He was like, bro, like, and so I walked up and tapped him on the shoulder, and he was talking to Jaden about some shit. And I was like, yo, I was not leaving this party without talking to you. You saved my fucking life. Like, I don't know how I got here, but like, you were the nigga I was listening to when I was about to jump in front of the train, type shit. Like, and I was like, we need you, bro. Like, I was like, we need you. I need you, bro. Thank you for being you. And Jaden walked up to me. He was like, yo, I really appreciate you coming over here to say that to him right now. like at the end of this fucking party, everybody's fucked up. You didn't have to say that at all. And I was like, bro, I just had to, bro. And then I remember I was like, yo, Jaden, like, we should cook some shit up. He was like, bet, and gets in his car and drives away.
Yo, that's a crazy fucking story, man. And I'm glad you had the opportunity to kind of slide in there and actually be genuine and tell Cuddy how you felt, because I'm sure, um, I don't care really how big you are, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it still feels great to hear those kind of things, because you don't know what he's going through either.
Yeah, yeah. Man, yeah, that shit was nuts. And I just remember we left out the driveway. We were just walking, and like we're on Mulholland Drive, which is like the most famous fucking street in fucking LA and shit,
Yeah.
where all the rich niggas be. And we're looking over all of LA, and I just start bursting in fucking tears, like just crying my eyes out, because it was such an overwhelming day, bro. Like I was that day, I was like, man, I might not make it home. I'm so fucking sad and tired of this shit, bro. But like that shit was just, it felt like somebody telling me, yo, like, relax.
Right.
Keep going.
Be good to yourself in that sense. And I'm glad that you had that moment of emotion to soak it in, looking over
Yeah.
LA. I'm sure that was very surreal, and I'm very happy for you that you're getting to know your story and coming from where you come from, man, and um getting to meet your idols, but also getting to discover yourself and
Yeah.
and surround yourself with good people. The more good you put out there and the good energy, the positive energy, the more it'll be returned back to you, man. I really appreciate you taking the time out today to chop it up with me and talk, man. It's been a great opportunity to just talk to you and get to know you, man.
For sure, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I'm sorry I be going on a tangent. Like,
Bro,
I've been talking forever.
dude, we're just having a conversation, man. There's no script. I just have questions and ideas that I want to talk about. But
You have a paper?
what's up?
Do you have a paper or an iPad that you wrote shit down?
Oh yeah, I got a Google Doc on my phone right now.
That's fire.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Gotta be prepared, but also too, a part of this whole interview shit is like I'm not trying to like talk to artists and be like, oh, like, well, you have 5,000 streams on this song, and how do you? I'm not trying to be like super proper and shit. I want to get to know you and who you are, and I really appreciate like you showing that side of yourself, because it makes for a great interview, but like I really value like personal connections, whether it's in
Hell yeah.
person or through Zoom. So thank you for that, Tahj. Congrats on all the success for Everyone Scared and coming up with Celebrity Jesus. Very excited to listen. So everyone at home that's watching this is Loud Music Only. I'm your host, A.T Bianco, and this is the one and only Tahj Keeton. Thank you for watching.
For sure.
All right.